Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. I'm Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with our Stage 4 Week 1 review. We're going to do the second half of the teams that we didn't get to yesterday or in our previous post. So starting it off, we're going to talk about a team that's done pretty decent so far, and that's San Francisco Shock.
Yeah, they started off a little wonky with the they came in all ready for the new meta, and but basically the Gladiators were having none of it. And once when they went back to the what they're good at, they were fine.
Yeah,
they were fine. I mean, they beat Seoul 3-1, and I think they'll be okay because the meta didn't shift as hard as everybody thought it was going to.
Right.
So I mean, they'll be okay. And Sinatra can play Zarya and Tracer. So if you have your tanks in and you add him in as a third tank, he can switch back into a Tracer role pretty easily.
Right.
It's not like some of the other teams where you have the specialist in there and you're just kind of stuck.
Right. And I think they really need to take advantage of the versatility of some of their players that they have, and not because they have three guys who are incredible at Tracer, but they got to use the rest of their hero pools to really maximize what they can do in this meta, especially just because it's so random from map to map and then point to point even on some of these maps that you really have to take advantage of the versatility of your DPS.
Yeah, and one of the guys that we haven't talked about a lot really is Architect.
Yes.
And he's proven to be almost more valuable than guys like Sinatra and Super that we were making a big deal about.
Right.
Just because of his hero pool right now.
Right.
And you almost got to have that. You got to have a guy that is like Libero or Prophet or Fleta or him. He's great on Widow, plays good Genji, and he can play other stuff too. He can flip on a Tracer or, McCree or whatever, and he is providing a lot of needed backup for their Tracer play, and that where we were kind of shaky on
whether they'd be able to make Tracer work or not. But I don't know. Like, it seems like the teams that have really exceptional Tracer players, they're able to adjust and they're able to really take advantage of this. Unfortunately, a team like Boston, where you are relying solely on your Tracer, it's not going to be as effective as like a team like New York, who we'll get into in a sec. Yeah, like it's just that's more what they need to build on. They need to take what they did against Seoul and really build on that.
Yeah, they do. And I think moving into the future in this meta, I think that they're not going to make the regular end playoffs, end of the season playoffs.
Right.
They have a shot at being in the stage playoffs. So the way if they play like they did against Seoul was kind of a garbled mess of what the fuck. But
that's still a win.
Yeah, it's still a win against a team with really good players on it.
Right.
Yeah, I think they learned a little bit in the first match. And we also learned a little bit about the Gladiators, too.
Yes. In that, the Gladiators are just continue to get better and better every stage, it seems.
Yeah, and we're moving into, what we think of the Gladiators right now. And they're probably one of the most cohesive teams in the league right now, the way they're playing. I'd say them, New York, Houston, and Philadelphia to an extent. The way they all work together, even when they swap guys in and out.
Yeah.
And they have one of those guys, they have hydration. And, honestly, and Surefour.
Yeah. Well, hydration, Surefour, and then to an extent Asher, with the versatility that the three of those DPS provide, they've really put themselves in a excellent position, and then having them is just perfect for this meta right now.
Yeah, it is.
And they're really setting themselves up for future metas as well, and kind of keeping themselves set. And then you have a player like Fissure who's good on all of the tanks, so it doesn't matter who the tank needs to be. Yeah. He's just going to be incredible. And
Brigida. I think he jumped on Brigida there for a minute.
I mean, they have a bunch of players who can play Brigida as well. Like, they're really looking good. Bishu played amazing Brigida. Yeah. And then just backup tank or just off tank in general, he was fantastic. His Zarya play was great.
This team, no one talks about their coaches.
Yeah.
On this team, you hear a lot about the coaches for New York. You hear about Houston. Name the team that's in the top, Philadelphia. But no one ever says how good this team is coached.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most well-coached teams in the league, and I hate making this comparison, but at the same point, I gotta give it to them. And they really remind me of the way that the Celtics are playing right now with Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
He's getting praised nonstop. But I feel like that's the type of praise that we need to be giving to the Gladiators.
Yeah.
Because their coaching is just phenomenal. And they're really taking advantage of every matchup that they can and making switches when they need to.
And being good at it.
Right.
And knowing where to go and what to do when you switch heroes. Sometimes, like, you guys play, you switch and you're like, all right, where am I at?
Right. Right. And their cohesiveness is just right on. And they're doing a phenomenal job. So, big props to them and their coaching. And
you can't say enough about their supports either. Their supports are great. We've talked about Big Goose and Chaz all the time.
Right.
And, they do what they do. And it's almost like in the scenarios with New York, they don't die.
Right. And they're the backbone of that team.
Yeah.
Without those guys, this team would not be anywhere close to what they have been. Even with Fissure. Fissure was a huge addition and, not taking anything away from him, but they've been there from the beginning and they've just been playing at a consistently high level.
Yeah, they have.
Since stage 1, the first game.
Yeah, and that was in the stage 1 before they got Fissure. We were saying, this is the best component of this team.
Mm-hmm.
It still is part of the best components of the team. I mean, obviously Fissure raised the tank play up, and he has got to be coaching Bishu.
Yeah,
because they have a fantastic synergy.
Oh, they're playing so well together anymore. I'm really impressed with how well that they've come together, and just the cohesiveness that they have is incredible.
Let's talk about my team for a minute here.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about the good, let's talk about the bad. So, Florida. Everybody says that they're improving. Oh, they're improved a little bit. They improved a little bit here. I am not seeing it. And let's go over the match with Philadelphia for a minute, shall we?
Yeah. Got ugly.
So that King of the Hill map, you guys couldn't get a elimination? One?
Not even one kill.
That is fucking horrific. That's like below what Shanghai would do. I mean, you can't luck into a fucking lucky shot, anything on that. It was just gross. It was so bad.
I mean, it was a bad performance and then a complete domination by Philly as well. It's just everything that could have gone wrong for Florida did. And then
the trickling starts, and then the
really ugly. It was probably one of the worst maps we've seen yet, and that's saying a lot because there's been some pretty horrid play. Yeah,
we can go back to Dallas and Shanghai last week,
right?
But it was terrible, and honestly, they're not progressing in any kind of positive direction. Everyone thought, including me, was excited about the new guys coming in, and they're not. It's not making a difference. Now, is that coaching? Is that they're not cohesive as a team? Because, I mean, they were cohesive as a team and they played for a fucking year before.
Right.
So, I mean, what's this, just big problems. And now it's to the point where, they're trying, the season's done. And the stage is pretty much done too. So, I mean, they need to look into the future as to what they have and what needs to change.
Yeah. And they really need to figure out who they want to keep, and really play those guys and maximize the value out of the guys that they have. With the way that the meta is shaping up right now, you basically have to have a Widow. And they have one of the best Widows in the league in Sayaplaya, and he needs to play. At this point, Tavik should probably be riding the bench, and it should just be Logix and Sayaplaya. Yeah. Even though they have similar hero pools, they need to figure it out and just play those guys and maximize the strengths and maximize how they can play. Because if they don't, it's just going to be steamroll after steamroll. They need to at least try and salvage something, yeah, and really figure out where they want to go from here.
Yeah, because honestly, right now you're paying a couple of guys in Zappis and Swoosh, who you're not using at all, except for scrims. And the big deal was, well, now they got some depth,
right?
And they're not using that depth at all. I mean, I don't like switching in and out tanks, but sometimes some matches you take out awesome guy and you put in Swoosh, or you're in a Zarya meta. You got a guy who's supposed to be a great Zarya player, and you're not playing him that much.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's just a mess. And I question the coaching. That's a big thing with me right now. Just watching and looking at games. We know how these teams are playing and seeing them either regress or progress into a different direction, leaning more towards how these teams are coached right now.
Yeah.
Than
how the players
they're
playing. Yeah. It really is coming down to coaching. And that's, I mean,
granted, you got to listen to what the coach is telling you.
Right.
Look at the good teams have great coaches right now. Gladiators, Philadelphia, New York, Valiant. Their coaching staffs know what to do.
Exactly.
The teams that are
able to make the adjustments and do the things that they need to.
Even San Francisco to an extent.
Right. So let's move on to another bad, and we'll just get it out of the way. And that's the fuel. I mean, this week they looked better. I mean, they beat Shanghai.
But
so
that
they
was
didn't
the
get
worst match in
embarrassed.
history.
But oh my god, it was so unbearable to watch. I tried. I had to turn it off because it was just like watching quick play. It was something we kind of went over a little bit in the previous video, in one of our previous videos. But it was so bad.
It was vomitous. It was terrible. And at this point, they have a new coach, but they're just kind of fucking around. I think these guys all see the writing on the wall. I think at this point they really all they can do is figure out who they want to, like, what direction they want to go with next season. Yeah.
And they need to figure out what players they need to keep, what, if any, they can get any kind of value from, if they want to sign guys again, or sign them to that second year option and then trade them to another team and try and get something else. Like, I feel like that's all they can really do at this point.
Yeah, it is. And they're pretty much just cannon fodder for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Them, Florida, Shanghai, they're just basically boosting win totals for teams that, that are above them. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no shot for any of those teams to win anything.
No, not at all.
Let's talk about the exact opposite of the Dallas Fuel and the Florida Mayhem. Let's talk about the New York Excelsior.
Yeah.
Another dominant week in the books for them.
Absurd. It's absolutely absurd.
I mean,
this team just has, from top to bottom, their roster is incredible. Every single player would be a starter on any other team. Their starters are all...
Yeah, they're all... If they had official players of the week at positions, they all would have been there this week.
Again.
And
it's like that every single week. It's absolutely absurd how freaking good this team is. They have incredible coaching on top of that. I don't know how you beat them.
No,
they're so freaking good, and that's what they're doing. They're daring people to beat them because they're just like, we're gonna keep playing. It doesn't matter what the meta is. This is what we're gonna play, and it's gonna be effective. Here we're gonna. We'll switch things up slightly here and there, but
we're still
for the most part, they're still playing the same composition that they've been playing all season long. Yeah. And they're just shredding people.
And the stupid thing is when they have to try something different. Like, I was a little like, before, maybe it'll calm them down. Maybe they won't be as good. No, because when they switched into the other meta, Jonak picked up Brigida and just started bashing people with a fucking flail like he does with the goddamn orbs on Zenyatta.
Right.
And then you got CPO be killing people left and right with fucking Widowmaker.
Yeah. And then you got Pine playing Widowmaker every once in a while. You got freaking Libero just thriving on any hero he's playing as.
He's the best. Him and EQO are the two best Pharaohs in the league.
Yeah,
and it's close. God. I don't know. You gotta lean with Libero though. I mean,
yeah, just because his hero pool is just so absurdly good, and then his air to air shots are just disgusting.
Then you put him on things like he can play Hanzo, he can play Widow, he can play whatever you need to play, and at an insane level.
Right.
That's the thing. Some of these guys are like, okay, yeah, they're gonna switch. Like, Hydration will switch up, and you're like, oh, yeah, he's pretty good on this hero. Not like he is on Farah or whatever. But Libera, like, yeah, if you looked at the stats, he would be up at the top.
Right. He's like top 3 in every character he plays. It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I don't see anyone. They'll lose once in this stage.
Yeah.
Unless they're...
It'll be a fuck around thing. Unless they want to be like, hey, Boston, we'll do you one better.
Yeah. We're going to win all the games.
Yeah.
Including the stage playoffs.
Right.
And then the playoffs. And then, our $1 million trophy.
I mean, honestly, like, the way that they're playing, I could see them not losing a game for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they're going to lose at least one. But there's a distinct possibility that they could just roll through everything and not lose a single game.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll lose some maps here and there, maybe, but that's about it. They'll let off the gas pedal after they go up 3-0. Something like that.
Yeah, they're not going to get worked ever.
No.
It's going to be a nail biter, maybe lose one on a fifth map to somebody not London, but disposed of them.
Right.
But, somebody like the Valiant or somebody like that could beat them, in a regular season match, not with the money down, but or Gladiators, something like that will happen.
And speaking of, let's move on to our last...
Let's talk about the Valiant. So they were another team well coached. They jumped into this meta. They knew what they were doing and had Soon jump on Brigida, looked good.
Yeah, and it's just once again this team consistently proving the doubters, including us, that that they just have crazy versatility, and they're showing it, and it's working in spades for them. Yeah, it is.
All across the board, they're just above board. Their tanks are really good. Mm-hmm. Their supports are playing really good. Custa was a huge pickup for them.
Yep. We can't stress it enough, how huge that was. And then just how well Soon has adjusted to not playing Tracer all the time. And just his hero pool, I feel like just is constantly expanding. Yeah. And then we're even getting a little bit of versatility from Bunny.
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing different stuff from Bunny.
It still blows me away that Soul let that guy go. I mean, I feel like they need him so badly right now. Holy crap.
Yeah, and they need a lot of help in the tank line. They should have picked up Envy. Anyway, that was
right.
Anyway, Envy would have made a big deal on that team. But also, too, Agility is another, mm-hmm. If you're looking at the formula, we've been talking about the good teams, guys. Good coaching. You got the Swiss Army knife DPS player. Decent to, insanely good tanks and really, really good, solid supports.
Yep.
There's no, this guy's kind of on this hero. It's just a solid setup.
Right.
And they're the teams with the good coaches, and the Valiant is one of them.
And maximizing their players that they have.
Yes.
And that's really what it speaks to. So speaking of maximizing players, let's talk about the final team, that is really not able to maximize because I think one player in particular, but just in general, this team has just not been the same since stage 1, and that's London. Yeah, London.
Birdring being off his game is killing them.
It really is.
And also, their tank play's been, other than Gesture, their off-tank play is terrible. It's not...
between Wu Yal and...
Fury,
yeah.
Not having Fury in a lot of the time, to me... I mean, Wu Yal's good. He's an overly aggressive diva, though. Mm-hmm. And that is death in this meta.
Yes.
Especially on those maps. And he doesn't have a hero pool either.
Right. You need to be if you're going to play diva, because you can make diva work in this meta, but you have to be much more timid and play behind the lines, take more advantage of your defense matrix. You need to...
Peel, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because diving in right now is not good. Especially on those maps like King's Row and stuff like that. They need to have Fury in there because he can play Zarya. He can play Diva. He probably, knows a little bit of Brigida too. I mean, that seems like... although it's all over the board with who's playing her. Soon plays her. Jonak played her.
Right.
Off tank, Bishu and Mickey played her. They're off tanks. It just, you don't know which way people are going. Basically, it's whoever picked her up the fastest in the past, I guess.
Right.
But they have no direction, it seems like. And, everyone was saying, made a small deal about Bishop getting fired and saying, well, it's better for the team. Since he's been gone, they've been in disarray.
Right. I really feel like whatever he was doing was at least somewhat effective.
Yeah.
Because... like you just said, ever since he's been gone, they just have not played at nearly the same level, and it absolutely shows. And I don't think they're in danger of missing the playoffs, but if they keep playing the way that they are, they're in danger of being eliminated from the playoffs very quickly.
Yeah. Prophet can't hard carry all the time, and especially the hero pool that he's been using. Yeah, he tracers when he has to, but you can't. It's hard to hard carry on Junkrat or Pharah in this league.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are maps you can do that. You can, on Lijiang, on Gardens, you can, or not, Gardens, you can, you can win a map as Pharah. Mm-hmm. A couple of them, but, they need Birdring to be Birdring.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I mean, and him not playing up to level is really what is crushing this team, and then it's really exacerbating all the other issues that they're having.
Yeah, and like we were talking about with Bergring being kind of off, but Dosen is kind of off too. I've noticed. I mean, everyone says he's great, and the stats look good.
Yeah, I
don't know if it's because he's not playing with Nuss all the time, who he seems to be more comfortable with than Closer.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, I don't know what they're doing. And they switch single players in and out a lot. And you guys know my theory on the switching tanks and supports. It's not good. Philly does it the right way.
Yeah.
Well, they don't switch their supports out.
Right. Very rarely they'll switch out one of their supports, but it's pretty few and far between.
Yeah, and they're in big trouble. They're in like Boston area trouble, I think.
Yeah.
That, you get into the playoffs, you're working on stuff that was, from in February and March, you got up there. London I'm talking about right now. And right now you're going to be out in the first round.
Right.
And if you keep losing, cuz I believe they play Seoul this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuz Seoul always plays New York and London in the same week. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it really is. But at the same, like going on that point, like between that, I mean, really the only thing they have right now is maps. And if they keep losing, that's not going to matter.
Yeah, if you keep getting 3-1, that's going to go away.
Right, that's going to go away. And then on top of it, just having all those losses, like that takes precedent over everything else.
Yeah, I mean, the maps matter, but if you have, because right now I think they have I think there are there are a couple teams that are like 2 to 3 wins, like in their range.
Yeah.
That could, if you have Houston, the Gladiators, and Philadelphia go on a hot streak, London could be sitting on the outside.
Right.
I mean, granted, London have to lose a majority of their games, but it's not looking good.
No, it's really not. They're definitely not helping their own case.
No, not at all.
And it's worrisome for this team.
And I like watching the way they play, too. I like their team. And it's weird watching them fail like that.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, I mean, they have on paper, they have probably the best lineup in the league. Just maybe other than New York.
Should. Yeah, other than New York, just because
they're a machine.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for our review. So, don't forget to give a like, a subscribe. Join us on the High Noon Pick'em. We'll come at you with some more stuff this week. Thanks for all your support, for checking us out, listening. Tell us what you think down below of our new format, our reviews, and anything else. Enjoy the anniversary.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.